The police asked me if she hesitated, and that was the first question. Not her name, not what she was wearing, just whether there was a pause before she went with him. I told them I didn't know. That was completely true. I was 17, working the closing shift at the movie theater off Route 6, the one next to the tire place and the frozen yogurt shop that keeps reopening under new names. I'd been there 4 months, long enough to stop noticing the smell of butter oil, not long enough to be trusted with anything important. On Tuesdays, the place emptied early. By the last showing, it was mostly couples who didn't talk and families who left trash like they were mad at the floor. I scanned tickets, wiped counters, checked bathrooms, all of it on autopilot. That night, the final movie let out at 9:40 p.m. Most of the lobby cleared out in under 2 minutes. I was pulling the rope barrier back into place when I noticed a little girl standing just past it, near the poster for the animated sequel. She was holding a pink jacket with a broken zipper, twisting it in her hands. She wasn't crying. And that's important, I think. If she'd been crying, I would have reacted faster. Crying gives you permission. I walked over and smiled the way you're trained to, soft, not alarmed. "Hey," I said, "are you waiting for someone?" She said, "My parents are coming." Her voice was quiet but clear. She said it like she'd already practiced it. I nodded, like that solved something. Parents coming made sense. Parents always come back. "Okay," I said. "Do you know where they went?" She said, "The car." I looked toward the front windows. The parking lot lights were on. Cars moved past outside and on Route 6. I told myself it was fine. Families forget things. Phones die. Kids wander a few feet ahead. All normal. Still, I radioed my manager. That's what the handbook says. Don't handle missing parent situations alone. "Dave," I said into the radio, keeping my voice casual. "Got a kid waiting in the lobby." Dave came out of the office, already loosening his tie. He always did that before anything stressful, like his body was trying to escape first. "What's up?" he asked. "She said her parents stepped out," I replied. I gestured gently toward the girl. Dave crouched a little so he was closer to her level. "Hey there," he said. "You waiting on Mom and Dad?" She said yes. Dave nodded immediately. I felt relief move through him like a switch flipping. Answer received, situation contained. Dave's relief bothered me more than if he'd looked worried. It was how quickly the moment flattened, like a form had been filled out correctly. I remember thinking that if the girl had said anything else, anything messier, we would have had to keep talking, keep looking at her. Instead, her answer slid neatly into place, and the air changed. Dave wasn't deciding anymore. He was finishing something. I realized then how badly I wanted him to hesitate. I wanted an adult to slow the moment down so I wouldn't have to. But he'd already accepted the explanation, and that meant the situation belonged to him now, not me. All I could do was stand there and watch him close it. Before either of us could say anything else, a man stepped out from the hallway by the bathrooms. "I've got her," the man said. He didn't sound rushed. That was the thing. He sounded mildly inconvenienced, like he'd misplaced his keys. "She wanders," he added with a smile, "every time." Dave straightened up. "Oh, okay." The man moved closer. He was tall, wearing a dark hoodie zipped all the way up, even though it wasn't cold. He didn't look at me when he spoke. He looked at Dave. "She's my niece," the man said. "Her parents are grabbing the car." I noticed the girl didn't correct him. I waited for her to say something else. Kids usually do. They feel silence the way adults don't. But she stayed very still, like she was conserving something. Her eyes didn't go to the man when he spoke, or to Dave, or to me. She looked past the poster at nothing in particular, the way people do when they're listening for instructions they already know. I remember thinking she looked older than she was in that moment, not braver, just practiced, like she understood the shape of the interaction and where her part ended. That scared me more than if she looked afraid. She didn't nod either. She just stood there, holding the jacket tighter. Dave asked, "Everything good here?" Already turning back to the office. "Yes, sir," the man replied. "We're all set." There was a second where I could have said something. Anything. Asked her another question, asked his name, asked why she'd said parents instead of uncle. Instead, I asked, "Do you have all your stuff?" Because it was the only safe sentence in my head. "Yes," the girl answered. Her shoes lit up when she lifted her weight, blue, then green. The man reached for her hand. Not fast, not slow, like this was the expected next step. She hesitated. It wasn't dramatic, just a fraction of a second, long enough for me to notice, long enough for me to think. That's a pause. Then she said, "Okay." She didn't say it happily, but she didn't sound scared. She sounded careful, like someone choosing a word that wouldn't cause trouble. She let him take her hand. Dave told me quietly to head back to concessions. He said it the way people do when they think they're protecting you from something unnecessary. As they walked out, the man turned back. "Thanks," he said. "Have a good night." I told myself a dozen things in the next 5 minutes. That kids don't always like their relatives. That not every hesitation means danger. That if someone was wrong or something was wrong, Dave would have noticed. That if I was wrong and said something, I'd embarrass everyone. And policies exist for a reason. I finished wiping the counters. I restocked napkins. Clocked out. At home, I replayed her saying, "Okay," until it stopped sounding real. The next morning, my phone buzzed before my alarm. A local alert. A missing child. Same age. Same jacket. I couldn't tell if it was the same girl from the night before. At work, Dave told us not to talk to anyone. He said the police had already reviewed the footage. They didn't see anything actionable, he said. Actionable. That word stuck. Actionable became the line everything stopped at. It was the word that let everyone exhale. I started hearing it on the news, at school, in conversations that weren't about her at all. It always meant the same thing, that something could be true and still not require a response. I began replaying smaller moments, too, not just the pause. The way Dave didn't ask for a last name. The way the man didn't rush. The way I chose a sentence that didn't change anything. None of it broke a rule. That's what made it hard to hold on to. There was no single mistake, just a series of correct decisions that added up to something irreversible. I asked if they needed statements. "They've got what they need," Dave replied. "We followed protocol." That night, I watched the lobby camera longer than I was supposed to. I kept waiting to see the pause again, a half second where something could have gone differently. The police asked me later, again, if she hesitated. I said I didn't know, because I still don't know what that pause meant. I just know I noticed it, and I didn't stop anything. Sometimes the body knows something before the mind can name it, and it shows up as a quiet pause we're tempted to ignore. Those moments aren't accusations or panic. They're invitations to slow down and look again. Safety is often built in the seconds we choose to ask one more question or stay present a little longer. Please be gentle with your instincts, watch out for one another, and thank you for being here.